Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network on YouTube presents Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Clayton, and I'm so glad that I waited a split second to do this video. Because if not, I would have never gotten the breaking news that your boy Richard Sherman has just signed a 3-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers. I was getting ready to talk how he was released and other NFL news, but now let's talk about the breaking news. Richard Sherman is officially going to be a San Francisco 49er for next year after being released just a couple days ago. He said he wants to go to a contending team, and maybe San Francisco is better than what we assumed they would be, because a guy like Richard Sherman, who has an option to go places as a free agent, he chose the 49ers. But two things: they're a rival to Seattle in the same division, so he'll see Seattle twice. Nothing like burning your old friends or your old foes or whatever they are now, your old people. Nothing like getting a little payback. And then he's also from the area. I mean, he did go to Stanford. Remember, that's deep in California. It's the heart of California right there. So he's basically from the area. He knows a lot about the area, and it's a rival. So I don't really blame him on those fronts. Now, is San Francisco really a contending team? Well, they did finish the season, I think, on a 6-game winning streak or a 5-game winning streak, thanks to Garoppolo, who is, got paid all their money. So we're about to find out what this San Francisco team is really about. He made those guys look good the last 5 games of the season. I know that for sure. Richard Sherman probably saw that and assumed, well, maybe I can make a difference on that defense. We'll find out. I'm stoked to see this go down because it kind of flips the landscape. Now, speaking of flipping the landscape, a lot of trades went down before the actual trade deadline. Before the actual free agent markets came through. Let's talk about them first. The Browns had a busy couple of days with their new GM. They went ahead and said, you know what? Let's go get Tyrod Taylor. They got Tyrod Taylor from the Buffalo Bills. The Bills give the Cleveland Browns, the Browns give the Bills the 65th overall pick in the draft. Also, with that being said, now they had Tyrod Taylor. They trade DeShone Kizer. Poor DeShone Kizer. I mean, he gets thrown in. In all reality, I don't think he should have been in the NFL this year, but he should have stayed one more year in college. But nonetheless, he goes out there with Cleveland. He does the best he can. He's had some flashes of good moments, but the flashes of bad moments. But being that young in that situation, then to get benched, then to come back, it's not good for his psychological. So I'm glad he went to Green Bay, went to a system where he's not going to start. He can prepare better. I like that for DeShone Kizer. But with that being said, Tyrod Taylor is going to be their new quarterback, the Cleveland Browns. He's going to be thrown to his new favorite receiver, and that's Jarvis Landry. Yes, Jarvis Landry gets traded to the Cleveland Browns as well. The Dolphins get 2 picks. They get the 4th-round pick, which is the 123rd overall for this year, and they get next year's 7th-round pick. That tells you how much the Miami Dolphins could care less about Jarvis Landry. Look, he's had the 3rd most catches since he's been in the league, I believe since that's 2014. The 3rd most catches. He's a catching machine. He can find the end zone as well. And you think he's maybe not your starter caliber because of the routes he runs, but man, you're just like one big-time receiver away from Miami from having a really good squad. Well, here we go. He just signed a franchise tag worth $15 million. The Browns are going to try and, if they can get a long-term deal, they have to pay him some money because he's going to want money. But as of right now, he's going to make $15 million for that 1 year unless the Browns come with a trade. But you got Tyrod Taylor, the quarterback, and now you get Jarvis Landry. Well, things are looking different because Tyrod Taylor can be the bridge, that goes to the next quarterback. Because guess what? Cleveland is going to get a quarterback in the 1st round this year, guaranteed. So Tyrod Taylor's going to keep that seat a little warm. Keep it warm for the next quarterback. So I'm very stoked to see what's going on with that. Jarvis Landry being traded for basically peanuts. That tells you Miami was just done with him. He had some on-the-field antics the last game of the season I read about. But, I guess when your coach and your GM don't look at you the same, because Jarvis Landry is a stud. He is a stud. He did a lot of damage with Jay Cutler as his quarterback. Remember that. Jay Cutler was his quarterback this year and did a lot of damage. So Cleveland's going to get their number 1 receiver for now, maybe number 2 behind Josh Gordon. Cleveland's trying to make moves. You get Tyrod Taylor. Upside about Tyrod, he doesn't doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't. He keeps the chain moving as well. He will not hurt you. That's what I love about him. DeShone Kizer, and like I said, poor DeShone Kizer got thrown into the mix this year. He made a lot of terrible plays, a lot of bad decisions. Which, I mean, look, it's really not his fault, to be honest. No, DeShone Kizer was young. He should have been thrown into that situation in the first place. But the Bills, on the other hand, they got a stacked draft. Check this out. They have the 21st, 22nd, 53rd, 56th, and 65th overall pick in the draft. They have 5 of the top 65. So the Bills are saying, guess what? We're looking for a quarterback. Who could be in mind? Baker Mayfield is the only one, or Josh Allen, maybe from Wyoming. Those two are maybe the picks that the Bills might go if they fall, because you know that Josh Rosen isn't going down anywhere. You know that Sam Darnold isn't going be gone far. So those two guys no, but Allen and Baker Mayfield are the two that might slide. You never know. And I think the Bills, if one of those two are available, the Bills would get them at number 21, or they might even go up in the draft. So with those picks, they could use the 21st and the 22nd pick and get a number 1 pick or number 2 pick, something like that. You got to think about that. We'll have our next show. We'll talk strictly about the college football draft, and then maybe a couple shows after that, I'll give my mock draft for 2018. So I'm very excited to do that for you guys. I did it last year. I had a blast with doing this year as well. So you guys are gonna find out who I got for my first round mock draft pick. Let's talk more about football. Le'Veon Bell. Yes, they did it to him again. Le'Veon, I'm sorry. You're a great running back. You're a great specimen as a football player, but you're not going to get 18 to 20 million per year. It's just not going to happen. The Steelers franchise tag him one more time. That's 2 years in a row. Last year they got him for $12.1 million. This year they got him for $14.5 million. They franchise him. Look, 321 carries, almost 2,000 yards of total offense. He is a stud, but at the same time, running backs, you can get them by a dozen. You can get them by a dozen. This isn't a quarterback. This is your franchise quarterback. They already paid Antonio Brown a lot of money. Now, Le'Veon Bell wants big-time money because he sees himself not only as a running back, but a wide receiver as well. Same thing that happened with Jimmy Graham in the New Orleans Saints fiasco. He wanted to be known as a wide receiver, not a tight end. He wanted to get that $16 million, not that $10 million. It didn't work out fine. That's the reason why he got traded, and we'll find out where Jimmy Graham goes later on. But Le'Veon Bell did say this. Guess what, guys? I'm going to do the same thing I did last year. I'm not going to camp, not going to OTAs. I will be there for week 1. I will work out on my own. And that right there is another problem. Do I blame Le'Veon Bell? No. Because if you think you are good enough, and he is that good, to get paid that kind of money, he is. But at the same time, I got to side with the Steelers as well, because, I'm not giving you that kind of money. You're a running back. You've been injured a lot of times. You've been caught with the marijuana issues, and we stuck by your side to let you come on this field. So look, you're worth that kind of money. But if you want to retire, go ahead. But there's a lot of running backs everywhere that we can get. I'm telling you. So I'm very stoked. I like that word for the day. The word for the day is stoked. I'm very stoked to find out, how they would gel with Le'Veon, because you knew the first 4 or 5 games from last year, Pittsburgh did not look the same, even when Le'Veon Bell was in there. They didn't look good the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season because they hadn't gelled with each other. I mean, they were beating Cleveland and Cincinnati by like this. So it's going to hurt them again. And Pittsburgh, this is basically their last year, to be honest, with all three, Roethlisberger, Bell, and Antonio Brown. I think this is the last year to get something good going on. You got beat down by a Jacksonville Jaguars team that showed that they are better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I mean, you get beat twice at home by the same team. That tells you a little something was going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Le'Veon Bell is going to sit out once again. Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it will. Now, back to Richard Sherman. Let's talk about that. Sherman gets cut. Seattle was going through this whole transformation now. My pops, I want to talk about my pops. He's a Seattle fan. He's been a fan since about 2011 or 10, before they won a championship. So he's not a bandwagon rider. He was a longtime Raiders fan. They started tripping on him, so he just went to Seattle. Well, now I know he's in a frenzy because you lose Richard Sherman. You release him. You trade Michael Bennett to the Super Bowl champions. You let go of Jeremy Lane. And then, of course, you're looking to trade Earl Thomas. That's basically the start of your defense. And they're trying to get rid of everyone that's a defender for Seattle. The Legion of Boom, I don't know where it happened, but I'm very disappointed in the GM. I'm disappointed in the whole entire Seattle Seahawks organization for feeling like these guys were running the camp, They felt like they wanted to change the attitude. I don't get teams that do that. Remember when the 49ers, San Francisco, were actually good when they had Colin Kaepernick and they had Harbaugh as their coach and they were dominating the league on defense and going to playoff after playoff after playoff? But the only problem was people didn't like the way that Jim Harbaugh was running the show. I'm sorry, was Jim Harbaugh not winning? I'm sorry, was Richard Sherman and that defense not winning you games for the last 5-6 years, making you look good? I don't care what these guys do, as long as they're not punching anybody. They can cuss and fuss at each other and do this and that, have mini scrums, whatever. But they're not killing anybody. They're not hurting anybody on purpose. My thing is, let those guys be who they are. They are the reason why that you guys are very successful. This year, it's going to be tough for that Seattle Seahawks team. They're already challenged offensively outside of Russell Wilson. They have some problems to deal with. Now you got to deal with the fact that you don't have a defense to kind of back up that, okay offense. That's what I don't like. Teams get discouraged and they say, oh, we got an image to take care of. No, you got championships to take care of. This team brought you to 2 Super Bowls. 2, and you won 1. Should have won both, to be honest. So what is the problem? Yes, you get Richard Sherman. Yes, you get Michael Bennett. Yes, you got a lot of guys, a lot of egos. They got a lot of egos. But it's football, and you want your defense to come out with an edge every single weekend. It is what it is. It's almost like they put an invisible chip on their shoulder just for the hell of it. And Richard Sherman was their leader, their outspoken leader at that. Not only did he talk the talk, but he walked the walk. A lot of guys can't do that, especially at the cornerback position. In my opinion, is the hardest position in the NFL. It's the cornerback. And they say, you know what? Bye, Richard Sherman. Yes, he's coming off an Achilles injury, and that might, could have been a reason. He's turning 30 as well. But I'm giving it another try. Seattle had one more year. This would have been my one more year to see where Seattle can get you. Yes, you didn't make the playoffs, but also your offense got you in a lot of problems. Your defense was still okay until Richard Sherman basically got hurt. Then it kind of was mediocre, and Earl Thomas was hurt as well. A lot of guys with injuries, but you get him back one more year, see what happens. Well, Richard Sherman said, I'm not, release me. So he got released, and look, a couple days later, he is a San Francisco 49er on a 3-year deal. I don't know the money is not right now, but it'll be very interesting to see what goes down. So, hey, tell me how you feel about Richard Sherman being a San Francisco 49er. Does it surprise you, or do you understand why? I'm saying because he's a rival to Seattle. They're a rival to Seattle, and he's from the San Francisco, California area, in my opinion. So I think that's why he went there. So let me know your comments down below. Tell me how you feel about Le'Veon Bell and the Cleveland Browns. Are they finally trying to make a stride? And I want to hear all your opinions. So next episode, we'll break down the college football. So that being said, this is Uneducated Network presenting Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Clayton. And as always, sports fans, y'all know what time it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.